All right, everybody, welcome to my channel. It's been a while since I've uploaded on here, but like I said in the beginning when I was making this channel, I'm only going to be uploading whenever I kind of feel like it. So this channel really doesn't matter, but at the same time, it does matter because I'm going to be doing stuff on here, like showing you guys how to do certain things, like as you can tell by the title, showing you how to make a virtual machine for Linux, specifically using Mint. So we are going to go ahead and get right into it. So the program I use is VirtualBox. VirtualBox is free, and you can basically do everything with it. So this is what the website looks like. VirtualBox. And then this is for the ISO that you're going to need. So they have different editions and they do different things and have different things. For somebody that's using like less than adequate hardware, would use the X-Face edition. The matte edition is more of a medium, and the cinnamon is what I'm going to be using, and from what I could tell, it runs well with people that have decent hardware. So I'm going to go ahead and use the cinnamon. I already have the ISO, and actually, I can show you in here. I've got a bunch of ISOs. Windows Vista, I don't know if that's going to work. I got Windows 7 to work originally. I'm working on Windows 11, even though I have Windows 11 now. But I still use that. So before I go on, if you're wanting to use a OS that you already are using, it's still not a bad thing because then you can see what you can or what you shouldn't do within that OS so that you don't break your actual machine. Ubuntu, I have two versions of macOS. I still have yet for them to work. Still working on that. And then we're going to be using Mint. So what you're going to want to do is hit New. You can name it whatever. I'm just going to name it Mint. And for the most part, it'll pick up what type you're using. So if you typed in, like, even just Win, it'll pop up. Mac, it'll change. Or Ubuntu, Linux. So we're just going to do Mint. And then you're going to want to grab the Mint ISO. You go to next. This stuff you don't really have to worry about. I still fill it out anyway. But it's not gonna matter. I always do this because then you can do a little bit more. This stuff is completely based on your hardware. But I would recommend at least having 16 gigs of RAM in your machine and using about a quarter to about half of it, depending on what you're using. For me, I've got 32 gigs, so I default at around 8 gigs. If there's a different type of OS I'm using, or based on what I'm going to be using it for, I will bump it up to about 16. The cores, you could tell how many cores you have, because you'll have, like in your task manager, you'll have, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, all that shit. So you have 8 cores. It's going to say that you have 16. I know I have 8. so I just leave it around 4. This don't matter because it's your virtual hard disk. I'm gonna put mine at 80 gigs, and then you go ahead and finish it. Okay. Can't run the guest install. That's the other thing too. Like you will have problems when you're first doing all this. And this is what it was doing to me last time. So like I said, sometimes you'll have an issue, other times you won't. Sometimes you just have to remount the iOS. Or ISO, sorry. So right now it's loading up Mint. So it's just booting up at this point. It's just going to take a second. All right. So now we are officially in Mint, and it is not responding. There we go. All right. So once you're in here, you can really just do anything. So the first thing I usually do is change it to my screen, and then I will full screen the application. That way I can use my whole thing. I don't know why I'm having so many problems. Like this never popped up before. And it should be fully functional at that point. You can go ahead and do basically whatever you want. And just for the sake of the video being a little bit longer, I'm going to show you a second installer for Linux, which is going to be Ubuntu. Okay, so once you're back at the screen, you're going to do the whole process over. So I'm just going to name this Ubuntu. And I use the same settings for everything. Just about. This I'll give 250 gigs because I don't know what I'm going to be doing on Ubuntu. And if it doesn't start right away, just go ahead and... Actually, no. Another thing that you should do when you're doing this is go ahead and let the OS install and boot up, do whatever, close it out, and then what you can do is actually, I'll show you on the Mint since I already have that set up. Go to settings. You can check to make sure everything is good and with how you had it. This is the more important part. When you do Windows and you enable the 3D acceleration, the 128 megabytes jumps up to 256. That allows you to bump up your resolution to 1080p. And really, you shouldn't have to mess with much else. Just make sure that you get this up to the full, just so there's no other complications. But let's go ahead and run Ubuntu. Just for the sake of having this video be a little longer since I've been MIA. And here we go again. Yeah, when I first started doing the virtual machines, that wasn't happening. So I don't know why it's happening now, but in any case, it's still working, and well, for the most part. Before I actually started this recording, I was getting Windows 7 back because originally I moved all my virtual machines to my other drive because my C drive was getting clumped up with ISOs and the virtual machines. So it was just, I had no space left. So I moved them, went to launch it, it was broke, and then I remade them the other night. They were still broke, and I'm just trying to get all my VMs going again. So it was taking too long when I was doing the Windows 11, so I just stopped and decided to just make this recording so I can get it done. So, all right. So now we are in Ubuntu, and I can do this while it is, well, I should be able, yep. Go ahead and swap this to 1080p. Changes. And then you're just going to go through setup like it's a normal setup. And a lot of that stuff you don't have to worry about. This I'm actually going to do, but I'll cut out. All right, so now you guys can do whatever when it comes to the setup. I'm gonna go dark. I like dark themes. I mean, if you couldn't tell by, my Windows Explorer or my task manager, everything's in dark mode. All right, so once it's done, you're gonna get a screen like this. Go ahead and just restart it. All it's gonna do is just restart the, not the whole machine. It's just gonna restart the, this. I also realized why it was going slow and why it's going to run slow until I move it. It's because it's on my hard drive. I do have an 8 terabyte hard drive that I have in this computer for storage and all that. I just don't have stuff stored like games. That could also be why some of the other virtual machines were running slow, and I thought that broke, so I ended up deleting them. So that's more on me for having it in my my hard drive, but I'll end up moving them again, and I'll move it into this drive. This drive is part of my M.2, just so I can have it be like very fast. I'm just actually in the middle of waiting for this. I started actually moving some games that I have in there. All right. So once it's finally done, you will be prompted to log in if you required your password to sign in, which is what I did. I do that on any virtual machine or any machine in general. Just like normal, I'm going to go ahead and change the resolution so I'm not feeling weird. And you're just going to go ahead and do the rest of the setup, really. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be moving this. So you can really do whatever you want after you're done installing the software and whatever else you want. There's a store. And if you have never used Linux or Ubuntu, in order to download stuff, it's going to ask for the administrator password, which would be you. It would be the password that you set when you made your profile. So just as an example, Minesweeper. So on my computer at work, I have the same thing, but instead it says admin. So either way, you're going to go ahead and put your password in there. If I can type my password right. And then it'll go ahead and start installing. And you can officially play Minesweeper, which is always a good time. So anyway, that is that, and then you can basically just mess around on your virtual machine. You can install stuff. You can put all the way up to 2 terabytes worth of virtual storage on your machine. So I did that, and usually the first thing I do, because I usually want it, is I get Google Chrome. But I think I'm just gonna leave Firefox here, because you could also get you can get browsers. Where is entertainment? So you can get things like, where's it at? Yeah, I don't know where it is on here, but you can get like Brave. You can get Opera. You can get Aura. So really, you can do whatever. Like I was messing around at work and installed Plex, and I was just watching a movie at work. So it's really endless, the things that you can do on here. I don't know why that went on. So just really just mess around, do whatever you want, and then just go from there. But either way, that is going to be the end for me for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and if you all enjoyed, please leave a like and comment down below if there's any other VMs that you want me to install that you might have trouble with or anything. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later.